Brandon Baxter in the morning.
All right, guys, on the phone this morning with the next WWE Hall of Famer. He goes into the WWE Hall of Fame 1 week from tomorrow. Welcome to the show, Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Woo! Good. Whoa! Good morning, Brandon. How is the wonderful folks of Arkansas today? I appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey, man, we're excited to have you on because, I mean, your career kind of got started Memphis, Jonesboro, all these different places, and now all of a sudden, bam, the WWE Hall of Fame 1 week from tomorrow.
Kind of got started. It did get started. Truth be known, the very first time that I stepped into a professional wrestling ring in front of a crowd was in Arkansas. It was a small show over there, not Paragould, but anyway, a small town in that neck of the woods, and I was a referee. And so Phil Hickerson was in the ring, and some people remember Frank Morrell, who ended up refereeing. But that's the first time I ever actually stepped foot in a wrestling ring in front of a crowd, was at Arkansas. So sort of coming full circle, coming back tomorrow night. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so Jeff's going to be back with us, MACW Pro Wrestling, tomorrow night, Bay, Arkansas, Spring Mayhem. We'll get to that here in a few more minutes. But when you think about that career, Jeff, if we think back to Jeff Jarrett, the referee, Jeff Jarrett, the referee, is much different than the Jeff Jarrett that we saw by the time you got to the WWF.
With that, well, that's an understatement. Yes, and it's been fun over the last 4 or 5, 6 weeks, sort of to go back and reminisce. And on my Instagram page, for all you kiddies out there at Real Jeff Jarrett. But no, I've been posting each day representing a year. And those early days in the area, I was the good guy. And then when I get to the WWF for the first time ever, I was the bad guy. I was the heel. And so reliving that and looking back on that and just how my year, how time has progressed. And then obviously to WCW and then the years at TNA. And just it's I'm very, very humbled and blessed when I look back at my career, just not only my health, I've had good health throughout, but just the ups and downs and I got to have this area as my home territory, never had to move from Nashville, always been able to jump in a car, drive to Arkansas or drive up into Kentucky and hit a show here and there. But also got to travel the world. So very, very blessed.
So the WWE Hall of Fame, again, that's coming up 1 week from tomorrow. It's in New Orleans. It's a part of WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be the Friday night. And you can actually watch that on the WWE Network, which is going to be really cool because I've already told my wife we have plans next Friday, and that's to watch Jeff go into the Hall of Fame. And I have a box of Kleenex sitting right there next to the couch because there's no way I can make it through this induction, Jeff.
Well, you're not the only one, pal. Hey, earlier this week they announced that Road Dogg Brian James is going to be the one inducting me, and I told him we were both very excited. We both known for a little bit, but I told him this week. I said, Brian, there is one thing without question, and I knew this a couple of weeks ago, but it certainly hit home when I actually saw the images on WWE.com and everything, and all over social media. I said, Brian, I need to know what you're going to say, and I'd prefer to know on Thursday what you're going to say. That'll give me time to really let it sink in and relish that, because when it comes Friday, I'm going to have to step on the stage right after him and give the induction speech. So it will be, without question, an emotional night. And I've said it from the very first day that I did an interview. My family, everybody remembers, certainly in the Arkansas area, Eddie Marlin. He's my grandfather. My father wrestled and promoted. Everyone around is really like family. So I'm accepting this honor without question, not just for myself, but my entire family. And obviously that extends to my wrestling family, because it all started back here 32 years ago.
So think about this. NBC Sports breaks the news, and I remember getting the tweet. Actually, I got a text first, and it said Jeff Jarrett into the WWE Hall of Fame. And like the internet and the wrestling community exploded. Everybody was talking about it because there was always this talk that there was bad blood between Jeff Jarrett and Vince McMahon and the WWE. Jeff went on and, he left the WWE or WWF at the time, started his own promotion, ran opposition to the WWE and WWF. So people thought that Jeff would be one of those guys that would never make it into the Hall of Fame. So back in January, Jeff, and you and I haven't even talked about this, you got the call. What were you thinking when that phone rang and you saw that number pop up?
I got a text. It was a Sunday morning. My wife, Karen, was getting ready for church. She was getting ready in the bathroom. I was already ready. Imagine that, Brandon.
Right.
I was ready. The kids were running around as usual Sunday morning and before church. And I got a text and said, "Hey, can you chat for a few minutes?" And I've always worked weekends, Brandon.
Yeah.
You can relate. And so that didn't really strike me as odd on a Sunday. So I went up in my office and I said, "Yeah, give me a buzz." And they called, and literally the conversation, maybe 60, 90 seconds into it, if that, it was, "Hey, we've been doing some talking. There's a lot of things going on here. Obviously, it's WrestleMania season, but more importantly, as it relates to this situation, it's Hall of Fame season, and we would like for you to go in." Wow. And there was just on my end, a real long, I call it the pregnant pause. It just went on forever. And I, as I sometimes do, sort of go right to the humor button or a bad attempt at it. I said, "Is this a yes or no question or like a maybe, or I'll get back with you?" And I just said, "Absolutely." So I was very shocked and humbled all in a very quick amount of time. And, since that time, it's been nothing but a roller coaster ride of emotions. But again, I'll go back to the words grateful. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity and humbled.
Double J Jeff Jarrett on the phone with us this morning. He goes into the WWE Hall of Fame 1 week from tomorrow. It's Friday in New Orleans. Jeff, we've seen this so much over the last couple of days about you on WWE social media. They seem to have really embraced the fact that you're going into the Hall of Fame. And I told Jeff the other day, I'm like, I believe that, he's gotten more talk and more play from WWE than any other Hall of Fame guy in a long time. But as we look at this and you see all these current WWE superstars who give their thoughts on watching you when they were younger and your career, what do you think about these current stars as they pay tribute to you in all these videos?
Well, one of the reasons has to be, and I've joked with, and maybe not with you, Brandon, but if you're around 32 years, there's really a lot of footage. So
right.
that's about the only thing. It's really, really cool. And I was doing a podcast last night, and they really got into the AJ Styles situation and story and that. And AJ's a guy who, ironically, he was in the very first match in TNA's history. And he was I was a part, I'll say that, of his very last match in TNA. It was my very last match producing. And so, when I look at AJ and Bobby Roode, and then you can just go on and on. I mean, Ron the Truth Killings was a part of TNA. Obviously, Road Dogg, Samoa Joe, Eric Young. I mean, there's a long list. Now, the GM of 205 Live, Rockstar Spud. I could talk for quite a while, but that's the kind of stuff that when I really look back on, that I enjoyed the most. When you step outside the ring, because obviously, I knew my prime of my career has been in my rearview mirror for a few years now. But the memories that I have, not only in the ring, but outside the ring and working with guys and that kind of stuff, it's really, really cool. And that this has been giving me an opportunity to really look at each individual. And for AJ to be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania the same year that I'm going into the Hall of Fame, it's I don't believe in coincidences, only convergences, without a doubt.
So next Friday, you're pulling up to the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. You're about to walk into a WWE venue for the Hall of Fame. There's people outside. There's all the talent waiting for you on the inside. What's going through Jeff Jarrett's mind?
That's a good one, Brad. I would, and this is how times have changed. They, talking with WWE.com guys over the last 48 hours, and I woke up to an email this morning from them. They literally are going to have a camera crew with me from the time I leave my house on Thursday. Wow. So it's going to be well documented. It's going to be talked about. And so I don't know, what they really have plans, but Thursday we get to the hotel, and I've already got an itinerary for Thursday to do interviews. And so, with the WWE Network, it's such a massive amount. And Brandon, you guys deal with it there. Especially you've got multiple stations, and not only are you on the air from 6 to 10 and all that, but you also have the digital side of things. Well, WWE Network is that exponentially. And so, going to be doing the interviews on Thursday, and then Friday we get to the building early, and then the show, if you call it that, the ceremony's Friday night. I mean, it's just one thing. I go to Access on Saturday from 2 to 5, and they're going to have a Double J exhibit with the light-up hat and a bunch of other memorabilia. So it is really, I don't want to call it a work week because it'll be a lot of fun, and I don't have to get beat up. But it is going to be a really busy weekend. And so, the emotions, and to go back to your question and not to get too long-winded, the people that I'm going to get the opportunity to reconnect with, not only talent and wrestlers that we all know, but the guys behind the scenes, in production, in marketing, in PR, and there's folks, I left there in '99, and there's several people that are still there that when I was there, and that's going to be really cool to connect back up. And I've connected back up with a few of them on the phone and emails, but to see them in person at Mania, it's really going to be cool.
So we talk a lot, off air, Jeff and I do over the last number of weeks we have, especially as you're going into this, and I probably wouldn't ask you this, just you and I on the phone, but I'll ask you in front of an audience. Do you think you'll be nervous?
Of course.
Do you think you'll be nervous going into the Hall of Fame ceremony? 32 years in, do you think there's nerves? Oh
God. Probably more so than me or you realize, in the fact that it's not a match. It's, and it's as real as it gets. And so, nerves. And if I wasn't to get nervous, then I would really know, well, first something's wrong with me, but brain dead. But no, because it's going to mean so much. I really want to make sure that I don't leave anybody out. I have this opportunity to get on an enormous stage, and send a message and just have a real sense of gratitude. It's going to be on the WWE Network on Friday night, the entire ceremony, but there's a 1-hour cut down version that's going to air on the USA Network the following night on Saturday night. So yes, Brandon, I will be nervous, no question.
I want to play something for you and get your thoughts when I play this real quick.
Spend my days working hard on the go. Put the hands on the clock, keep spinning too slow. 'Cause I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
Jeff, that song has taken on a life of its own over the last year or so. Thanks in part to Bruce and Conrad.
I thought you were going to play a blind. I thought we were going to some music. We're on K-Fine. I thought you were just isn't that in the rotation list?
Who would have thought, though, 23 years ago that this song would be getting talked about again today with My Baby Tonight? Do you think, and I know you probably don't want to give us all the secrets, do you think there's a slight chance we might hear a little bit of that at the Hall of Fame?
It's undecided, but I will say this, that song, even when it came out, we all backstage and me and Brian would joke and we're like, it's just got a little bit of a cornball feeling to it. It's real long. It's 4.5 minutes long or something like that. It's got the girl's backup singer, a little bit of a doo-wop to it. But there's something, we said it 23 years ago and we've said it over the last couple of years. There's just something about it. It's catchy. The video was done pretty cool. The live performance, the story obviously behind it. And at the end of the day, you guys listen to music all day. Brian can sing. Yeah. He can flat out sing. He's got a great tone, and I'm not a judge of voices, but I've got some good buddies that you guys play often on your airways that have made millions upon millions who just shake their head and said, dude, that guy's got great tone. Listen to it, So Brian can sing, but I would have never imagined this. But, Bruce Pritchard and Conrad and the podcast. But, it's that nostalgia factor, too. There's a lot of wrestling fans, not just here in the United States, but all over the world, who over the years, if they come up, and especially their collectors, if they have me sign something, most of the time they're going to pull out something with the Ain't I Great tour and the Double J tour, and I'm going to sign that. It really resonated with fans back then.
Jeff Jarrett on the phone with us this morning. He goes into the WWE Hall of Fame 1 week from tomorrow. But tomorrow night, Bay, Arkansas, MACW Wrestling. We're going to be there. Jeff's going to be there. He's going to have a guitar ready. Tickets are on sale right now at Automax in Jonesboro, or you can buy them at the door. And the VIP deal, we've done VIP at different events, and sometimes they're $40, $50. This VIP, only $12. You get to meet Jeff 1 week before the Hall of Fame. So, Jeff, if people want to find you... No, go ahead.
No, I was going to just say, and me and you have talked about this probably too much. It's because we love wrestling a lot. Nowadays, back in the day, it was WMC Channel 5 wrestling. That was really the heartbeat, that type of wrestling, everything. Nowadays, independent wrestling, we're going to be there tomorrow night, Friday night. That is the heartbeat. That's where stars of tomorrow really get their start, and that's what I'm excited about, to come back to reconnect with fans and be a part of a great independent wrestling show.
So if people want to find you on social media, what's the easiest way to hit you up?
You tell them, Brandon. If you don't know this, you're no. It's at Real Jeff Jarrett, Twitter and Instagram, at Real Jeff Jarrett.
And for people who might not know how to spell that, how would they spell Jeff Jarrett?
Oh, well, let me just crank this up and we'll take it to music. That's JEFF, JARRETT. That's double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett live this morning on K-Fine.